Yeah, I'm waiting for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Police Board Services meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. You've had a chance, hopefully, to look over the agenda. Any errors, omissions, additions? If not, then I have a motion as recommended that the agenda for the PSB meeting of Thursday, November 26, 2020 be accepted as presented. Could I have a mover, please? Mike, and seconded? Is the mayor not here?
Yeah, I'm here. How's your eyesight this morning?
Oh, there you are. How could I miss that? Takes the full screen. Do I have a seconder, Mr. Mayor?
Seconded, Mr. DeMille.
Thank you. There are no so moved. Of course, all those in favor? Passed. There are no declarations of interest or presentations or delegations. Moving on to the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to go through those? Any errors, omissions, additions? No, then it's recommended that the PSB minutes dated October 29th, 2020 be adopted as presented. Could I have a mover, please? And seconded. All those in favor? Passed. Communications and petitions. Is there anything in the action items, information items? I have one question about the agreement for the ride program. Does that have to be signed by myself or?
So typically the CAO just signs it. It's a small
Okay.
agreement. It recurs. So if you're okay with that, then
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Then it's recommended that the information items be received, noted, and filed. Could I have a mover, please? And seconded. All those in favor? Great. Let's move on to the police services report for October. Are you good to go, Nancy?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I apologize. As I said, I was having some difficulties here with my computer this morning. For whatever reason, couldn't link in, so I can run through the report if everyone is ready.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll look at the violent crimes. In October, we had 5 assault investigations and 2 other crimes against persons. The assaults were primarily as a result of domestic incidents. Overall, year-to-date, you'll see that we're down 21.3% change year-to-date from 2019 to 2020. We've got a bit of an increase from our sexual assaults from 9 to 14 year-to-date. Our assaults are down from 39 to 24 with a 38.5 reduction. And as well, our other crimes against persons went from 41 last year to date to 31, and that is a 24.4% reduction. So overall, in the year-to-date category, down 21.3% in the violent crime category. In the property crime category, we had 3 theft unders in October, 2 fraud calls, and 4 mischiefs. And year-to-date, you will see that overall, we're down 15.3%. We're down 50% in the break and enter categories, 25% in the theft overs, 1.5% change in the theft unders from 65 to 66 incidents there, just a little increase. Our frauds have gone from 40 to 28, so that is a 30% reduction. And our mischiefs have gone from 35 down to 30%. So overall, a 15.3% reduction in property crime. In our drug crime, you'll see that we had in the month of October 1 possession charge, 1 trafficking charge, and year-to-date we have 17 a change in increase, or a change overall is 240%. We went from 0 trafficking charges last year to a total of 9 this year, and possession from 5 to 7. So our CSCU members have been very active in the drug crime area. And following the next page speaks to the clearance rate. So you will note that our clearance rate for violent crimes from 2019 to 2020 is a slight increase from 66.3 to 68.6%. And our property crime overall last year at this time was 40.1%, and we're down somewhat to 21.8%. But as we continue to investigate crimes and solve them, that number will change. And our drug crimes from 80% down to 76%. So in total, the violent property and drug crime is 41.5% change. Are there any questions on those 2 pages?
Anyone?
Nancy, just a quick comment on the drug trafficking. I mean, it's obviously it's a smaller number, but it does stand out, the 240, of course, and that's something that anybody looking at this would really notice. Any comment on that overall and how that trend has been this year? I mean, we've seen a lot of it in our borders, and obviously we've seen it here as well in a lot of neighboring municipalities. So it's obviously it seems to be like trafficking's on the rise. The crystal meth and even still some of the fentanyl. But any comment on that at all, and how that's trending, how that's going? I know you can't comment on operations, but clearly we've had some arrests lately, both here and elsewhere in the region. So just anything comment on that, because it's a bit of a disturbing number. It's probably not a huge surprise to anyone, but anything else you can add to that for a little more context?
So certainly we have, I think a lot of the numbers that you're seeing is because of the participation and the engagement of our community street crime unit. So there's been a heavy focus on informant development, and as that information comes through, then the officers are able to do up search warrants and to get the successful results that they've been getting. So certainly a heavy engagement on their part, just doing a great job. We had 1 position filled last year, so that certainly has caused sort of the unit to mesh and gel and get sort of cracking on the crime that's happening in our community. So I would say part and parcel of why you see that number increase is we have sort of some very, very high key engaged officers that are really sort of hammering, looking to their informants and developing themes in the community. So certainly that plays a huge part in the numbers that you see presented today.
So some good news about the bad news, really, I guess.
That's true.
So it's good to see that there's some real action on that, and there really has been. I mean, it's been in the news quite a bit lately as well. So it's good to see that there is some crackdown on some of the trafficking that's happening in our streets. So thanks for the added information on that.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to continue then?
Okay, I'm not going to run through the calls for service billing summary. And I'll follow up on the last report there. In regards to public complaints, we had 1 conduct complaint against an officer. I believe it's going to be resolved. There really wasn't much to that particular complaint. It was resolved, but it went through anyways, and I expect that to be resolved here very shortly. Nothing at all to be concerned about. Intelligence-led policing, we have 9 offenders in the program. We had 1 offender charged and 8 charges laid, and there were a number of checks performed on these offenders in the program, totaling 8. For our daily activity reporting hours, we had 188 hours of cruiser patrol, and we had 6.5 hours of foot patrol in the month of October. And our number of targeted releases during this reporting period, our community service officer provided some media releases. There was some mischief to the smoke shop windows, and there was an assault on Center Street where an arrest was made. And there was a motorcycle that was doing some wheelies on Merwin Lane. And during the crime and traffic campaign initiatives on Thanksgiving long weekend, we had a traffic campaign where officers were involved in. We issued 143 provincial offenses, 129 speeding offenses, 4 racing charges, 1 cell phone, and 9 other moving violations. And it should be noted that there were no serious motor vehicle collisions during this time period, and officers made a collective effort to keep our roadways safe for the motoring public. Also, we had a CDSA search warrant where 1 male was charged possession for the purpose of trafficking of cocaine and crystal meth. Another CDSA search warrant, 1 male was arrested for possession of the purpose of trafficking where 18 grams of crushed oxycodone, 90 oxycodone pills, and 67 methamphetamine speed pills were seized. And there were no break-and enters in the reporting period, therefore there was no safeguard that was offered.
Thank you, Nancy. Are there any questions?
Just another, I'll let Mike go first, Dan.
Oh, okay.
A follow-up after Mike.
Mike?
Just a bit of a kudo for the radar guns. I've seen them out quite frequently lately, and that'll only enhance our 40-kilometer zone, plus anything else that's associated.
Thank you. I know the officers have been out there working hard at it.
Yeah, that shows. Thanks.
Thank you.
Brett?
Yeah, pretty much the same comment. I just wanted to thank Nancy for a quick response on a couple traffic concerns the last little while. Yeah, it's never gonna be a perfect world out there with it, but I think we've seen it sort of creep up a little bit as people have gotten more used to the 40 and what they can get away with. So I just want to thank Nancy and the officers for that, and just if possible, and I know it's manpower related, but just to really continue a crackdown on the real trouble areas still seem to be north end Edward Street, but also east and west ends of King with people coming into town. So thanks again for your continued focus on that, and it's definitely it's better than it was for sure. But obviously there's still a little ways to go with those trouble spots, and they're probably going to have to be monitored, on an ongoing basis, as obviously. But thanks, Nancy.
Sure, we will keep our attention to those areas for sure.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? Then I have a recommendation, motion that the Police Services Board, Police Services Report for October 2020 be accepted as presented. Could I have someone to move? Mike, seconded. Brett? And all those in favor? Passed. Now we have a bylaw update report.
Good morning. Yeah, not a whole lot to report this month, but the new signage is up for the permit parking that's allowed in the various parking lots around town. It should be fairly obvious that they're allowed to park there because they all have been giving a very bright yellow. I would say it's about 3-inch by 6-inch piece of paper that they put in the window so it's easy to see and notice. In fact, 8 have been sold already. Dog tags are going really well. We managed to hand out over $100 in Prescott proud dollars to people that were following the rules and managed to get a lot of other people to come in and start following. That's what the game plan was. And there was some damage to the play structure, which people were aware of at Sarah Spencer Park. We have increased our presence there. The nice thing is, at least it's early in the day. It's 9:30 to 11. At least it's not 9:30 at night till 11 at night. So it makes it a little easier to cover it. So makes it a little easier. Also, just a heads up too, there will be a blitz in this area for the for COVID education and stuff this weekend through the Ministry of Labor and stuff like that, because they've reached out to us to let us know that they're going to be in the areas. I don't know that Prescott itself is being targeted, but certainly the whole area is being targeted. So
What does that entail?
just basically there'll be a lot more officers going into various restaurants, retail stores, in general, just they're bringing down, as I understand it, and maybe Nancy could answer it a little better, but they gave me the impression they're bringing down a busload of inspectors basically to do a blitz around the area. I don't know if it's a busload, but you know what I mean. They're from the whole area and going out. So.
Okay. Any questions or concerns? No? Thank you very much, Sean. We don't have to have a motion on that, do we? No. No? Okay,
No, it's information.
thank you. Anything under old business?
Two quick ones, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to note, I guess primarily for Inspector Graves, but she's probably already aware of it, but just in case, we did pass the traffic calming report and a new policy last week at council. Nathan put together an excellent, very comprehensive look at that for us, and we did pass that, so we have a good policy in place to address traffic concerns. We did order another speed spy camera as well, which we should be receiving, I think, 4 to 6 weeks or something like that was the order. So we'll be able to deploy that for traffic concerns and complaints. And obviously, like this board, we did have one a number of years ago, and this replaces the old speed spy. So if there's any concerns about traffic that come through this body as well, we can have use of that, of course, and monitor those traffic complaints. And I just also did want to make sure to thank Inspector Graves and the OPP for their very prompt attention to the damage in the crosswalk. Again, obviously, charges were laid on that last week, so that we did find the perpetrator. So I just wanted to thank Inspector Graves and her team for doing such a great job with that investigation and bringing the culprit to justice on that, because obviously this has been an ongoing issue. So thanks again for that. And that's the one other item under old business. I don't think we have an update on it yet, but I know we were going to check into that. I don't have anything, but just on PSB board member appointments, as I noted a little while ago, I was approached by a representative of the Attorney General's office to see who we would like appointed to those two government appointed positions. And Lindsay, Kimberly, did we get anything? Was there anything back from them? Still nothing, eh?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I did reach out to our contact with the appointments, and he said he was going to, I'm just pulling up the email. He was going to reach out to the appointments team and provide me back with an update, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay. Yeah, they don't exactly move with any great speed, so who knows when we're going to hear about that. But it was good news to hear that they are looking at the reappointment after what we went through last year with regards to potential amalgamation. So I'll follow it up on my end as well and just see if there's anything. Maybe I kick a couple of tires on that one and just see what's happening. So I'll let you know what we get back. Should have something before the next meeting, but I'll look and see where they're at with it. Thank you. That's all I have this morning, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mike, do you have any questions?
No, everything's been covered. Thank you.
Okay. Anything under new business? No? Nancy, anything?
No, other than today commences the start of our festive ride program. So you will see that we're out and about doing various ride programs in the area. So it's good that we just got our ride grant approval. So we'll be putting that to some good use once we're able to get those ride programs set up.
Okay. That's all for that. There are no media questions. Moving on to the PSB, maybe we can, public service announcements, we can include the start of the ride season, if you want to call it, or festive ride program. Kimberly, Nancy?
Yeah, I can certainly send some information. We've been pretty, I think, we've put some information out in the media already about it, but certainly a focus and attention on that would be, I'm certain, very worthwhile.
Anything else on that? Mike, Brett?
The only comment I would have in the grants is I'm really glad it comes as one big check and it's handled the way it is now. So it wasn't that long ago, we actually had to write checks out to every individual officer to pay them for their ride shifts. And it's just a weird situation. I don't know if everyone did it that way, but it resulted in, and I was still signing all the checks at that point. So we do literally dozens and dozens and dozens of these checks to the individual officers paying for the ride shifts. It's a weird way, but that's the way it was done for quite a number of years. So glad to see it's refined a bit there.
Okay.
Mike's got something.
I just wondered if the new 2-year setup for the ride program, I just wonder if that's the new norm now. Used to be 1 year at a time.
Yeah, it's normally 1 year at a time, but for some reason they're doing 2 at a year, which is quite okay with us. Just sort of saves us the duplicity of doing it over again. And I think this is sort of the new way business is going to be conducted.
Well, that's good.
All right. If there isn't anything else, going once, going twice, then we will go to adjournment. But are we going to have a meeting in December? I think the only possible date would be the 17th. That's probably because after that it's Christmas and New Year's. Or do you
Do we
want to skip it? Sorry?
Do we traditionally have one in December, I wonder, historically?
I don't think we have, no. So should we just move on to January? I
No
think
objection.
everybody should be turkeyed out by then or whatever.
No objections to that, Mr. Chair, unless something comes up and. it's
Yeah,
like-
we can always have a meeting if. So what's a good date in January?
Either the 21st or the 28th.
Want to go 21st because we are just basically move it up a week because we're taking the month off. Does 21st work, Stan?
Sure.
That works with you, Nancy, obviously.
Yeah, as far as I know, I've got nothing on the calendar booked yet, so.
Okay. All right, if that's all there is, then it's recommended that this meeting adjourn to January 21st, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Could I have someone move? Mike, seconded by Brett. And all those in favor? Passed, and it is 8:55 a.m. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good